welcome back to the R.D.C. show. Richard?
Derek?
Chris?
Listen, folks, we're sorry we've been gone so long. We all had a lot of things going on in our life.
Shit happens.
Yep. Stop the shit.
Stop the shit.
But we will be back on a regular basis, at least every other weekend, if not every weekend. We're going to shoot for every weekend.
Try.
We're trying some changes out for the show. We now have t-shirts provided for people that help promote the show and watch it. They'll be winners to get a free
hold
t-shirt.
this up in front of Derek's face.
It is.
You're good.
Christopher can tell you about the product since he was the one who went online and looked it up.
Yeah.
He says it's 100% American made.
Any cotton.
Yep.
100% cotton.
100% U.S. cotton, 100% U.S. made t-shirt.
Last year's winners for supporting the show were one of our very special guests who appeared in more shows than anyone else, Mr. Brian Sigourney.
They'll be getting a shirt.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Christopher will tell you the next
And
guy.
Brian Fickner, who happens to be
Our
Richard and I's cousin, is getting a t-shirt for the most
Thanks,
likes, most shares. Thanks for the support, Brian. We appreciate it.
We appreciate all support.
you.
Please watch our websites.
Yes.
Christopher has also made us another website that he will inform you of right now, and we encourage you to go to there and check it out too. The website for that one.
Okay, just gonna put the picture up.
Okay. Okay, I'll just put the picture up. Sorry, folks.
Thanks.
This is
We're gonna
live.
edit all that out.
No, we're not gonna edit that. It's
Oh,
live.
shit.
I just want to inform you it's live, and we're at my house. From time to
we're
time,
on
people
live.
might start knocking on the door. In the past, we stopped the show, and that's why we haven't had the show in so long. But I'm not going to stop the show no more because of that. If they come, they have to
They
sit in the
have to be on the
background,
show.
so you might hear people in the background talking from time to time.
Yeah.
We're going to try to keep it going because I have a lot of visitors, and we don't. It was hard to keep the show going, so room became an issue. We were trying to get a studio off course. All of us have financial difficulties. That stuff couldn't happen. So, but we're coming back
We're gonna keep
every week.
doing it.
We're going to keep bringing the poor man's view to the world.
Take donations.
We will take donations.
We will. Anything will help out.
All right, well, welcome back once more. And here we go. In tonight's show, we are going to discuss the I.R.S. We are going to discuss minimum wage increase. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? We are going to discuss Michigan and Lansing politics, local politics. Also, later in the show, we will discuss the war in Russia. What does it mean for us? The missing airplane. Where is it? What's going on? All kinds of things. We've been gone a long time. There's a lot of stuff for us to talk about.
Yes,
We'll try to do our best. I guess, who wants to go first? You want to start with minimum wage, or you want to start with the I.R.S.?
Tear it up.
Okay, I guess we'll start with the I.R.S. I have to be careful what I say here, people. 'Cause I'm sure they've been watching this show, and this is part of the reason I'm having the year I'm having. If you remember, last year, what was it, July? When did we do the I Am Not a Terrorist show?
Oh, hell.
It was August, June.
Yeah, I'd have to look at my notes.
Last summer, you can look it up. There's a
Is
two-part
R of the
episode.
R.D.C. show terrorist.
It talks about me being a terrorist because of some things that were said in government ground. I'm not going into all that. That's not tonight's topic, but it's just, is it coincidence? I don't know. You
But
tell
hey,
me.
man, they fucked with all them Tea Partiers that complain
Yeah.
about all their taxes now. I mean, it's
Right.
definitely
Right.
not outside the normal operation of the I.R.S.
I
to
agree.
go after people who complain about taxes, especially on social media.
And Tea Party people, it don't just happen to you because I'm not labeled as a Tea Party. I am labeled as independent, so maybe that's why, because I don't
Right.
pick either party. But
You don't follow
Yeah.
the rules.
I don't follow the
Follow the
rules.
rules, yeah.
But let me tell America what's going on with me. I am 41 years old. I have a 17-year-old daughter who I have taken care of and raised basically on my own since her mom decided family wasn't her thing and left in 1998. Don't get me wrong, her mother sees her on weekends, but it's been 5 weekends since my daughter went to her mother's, just to give you a hint. It doesn't bother me. She's my daughter. I love her, cherish her, and every minute she's with me is a blessing, so I don't look at it as a bad thing. I'm just letting you know her mom hasn't seen her in 5 weeks. It's not all her mom's fault. She is a teenage daughter who wants to be with her friends. But my point is, getting back to my point, is the I.R.S. audited me for 2012. The same year the terrorist thing supposedly happened, me talking at a courthouse almost got me labeled as a terrorist. So I get audited, the paperwork comes. I showed it to my good friend D. I don't know if Christopher seen it before I filled it out and sent it back. But it wanted proof from her school that she was a real student there and lived at this address. So I had to go to the high school and ask them to write a letter because I'm being audited. That already made me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Because when people hear you're being audited, it's like, whoa, you got a stigmatism on you. What did you do? You know, I don't even want to touch you. I don't even want to go near you. But I had the school fill it out. I filled out the form, said I did not agree with them changing my status from head of household to single, and I mailed it off to them. They sent me another letter back stating that that wasn't enough proof. So I got proof that I received child support. I got proof that I have insurance on her through my child insurance program through the state of Michigan because I'm poor, but I have insurance on her. I sent both of those things out. They told me that wasn't enough proof. So then I had to fill out this letter with a bunch of questionnaires, and I sent that out. And that still wasn't good enough for me. So, and let me tell you, in 2013, I was supposed to get a certain amount of money back. I didn't. They gave me way less. I figured they were holding the rest because they were waiting to see if I really owed them money for lying about claiming Ivory the previous year. So in the process of me filling all this stuff out, they deposit some money in my account. Well, now this is the fourth letter I've contacted the I.R.S. with. I still don't know why they're questioning if my daughter lives with me. I have no reason why. I have no reason of knowing what happened to the tax money I was supposed to get this year. Never been told anything. I'm just guessing why there was a lesser amount than what I was supposed to get deposited into my account. And I figured they were holding the rest to figure out what was going on. I've never been told this, so I do not know. Well, they sent me another letter saying that I lied about having her in 2013. Now, 2012, I could see them saying I couldn't claim her because her mom was allowed to claim her. But under the rule, which this was the fourth letter I sent to the I.R.S., was I printed off their website, their rule, children of separated or divorced parents. In that rule, the law clearly states that if you are the custodial parent, which I am, which I proved by high school document, a letter from the high school, proof that I get child support. Why would I get child support if I'm not the custodial parent? It doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. And by having insurance on her, they said that they shouldn't have gave me the money they gave me back this year. So now they're trying to hit me with even more money, saying that they owe me that money back. Now, what sense does that make? First of all, if I was lying about last year, why would you give me anything back?
You're just yanking your dick. That's all.
They would keep it.
That's it.
So, long, boring story short, I just want to show you what
you don't have enough to do you?
The last thing I sent to them, which hopefully it won't just become the D.C. show because I'll be locked up in jail. I faxed them a copy. I don't know how good of a clear that is, but this is from a university with Ivory's name and address, from her high school, name and address of living here. I don't know how clear that is, sorry. Copy of her birth certificate with my name clearly on it. Then I attached a couple letters which might get me in some trouble. I don't know. I hope not. I mean nothing by it. And I'm going to read them to you, the public, now. In case anything ever happens, you know the truth. It said, I, Richard J. Leland, the first and only, do not agree with the I.R.S. changing my tax return status for 2012 and 2013 to single, from head of household to single. I have had my daughter, Ivory Alice Leland, since 1998 and have done my taxes ever since she was born. I've done my taxes the same way ever since she was born. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Probably being a little bit of a dick right there, but they were pushing my buttons. As for me owing $749.35 for 2013 and $3,531.81 for 2012, that is not true. You, the I.R.S., owe me blah 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 for 2013. Nice to see taxpayer money hard at work. And then the second day, the next day, I thought that was rude, might get me in trouble, so I better send them another letter. So I faxed them this letter. To the IRS, I, Richard J. Leland, did not mean to be rude when I wrote you the last letter that I faxed to you. But I am a single father that has raised Ivory Alice Leland her whole life, and have had to do it by myself. So when you tell me that she does not live with me, it bugs me. I have never been told why. Did someone else claim her? Is it identity theft? What is the issue? Second, you must understand that I am a poor man. I need and count on my tax return money to get by after a long Michigan winter and Christmas. I need that money to get caught up on all my bills and to stay alive for a few months. By you keeping that money from me this year, you have put my life in turmoil. This is not the letter, but that is money that me and millions of other poor people count on, because that's all we have to look forward to in this miserable, God-forsaken world. Sorry. Anyways, back to the letter. I used the free program on the file for free on the IRS website. All I do is answer the questions that the program asks of me. In parentheses, TurboTax and H&R Block. That's what I've pretty much used every year I've done it. If their programs are stealing money from the IRS, you, the IRS, should not allow that program to be used by everyday Americans like myself. I never tried to steal from the IRS. I just followed the instructions. Yours truly, Richard James Leland. So, you guys think those letters were a little too harsh? Do you think I'll be locked behind bars?
I don't.
And did I overstep my boundaries by saying what I said?
No, I think you're dealing with what a lot of people right now in the U.S. are dealing with, and this is actually the IRS has kicked it up a notch, trying to fucking rein in. Yeah, they are, because they can be.
Yeah. Well, I think they can be.
Isn't it pretty messed up that there's an organization that has can totally fuck with your life and anyone else's life, and there's no repercussions. Yeah. Even if they find out they owe me that money and they're wrong, I don't get interest.
Yeah, there's no check.
I don't get no.
I can verify that letter that you got that said that they didn't even read the letter that you sent them at the end of last year.
Yeah.
They didn't even read it until like 3 months later.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have it in my.
It's like
my folder of stuff.
Did you guys hear in the news? It was they were talking about people going after people because of money their parents owed or whatever.
Yeah,
what was that?
That was one black lady I seen from Detroit where they kept her money because they said her dad, who was dead 10 years earlier, owed money to the IRS, so they kept her money she was supposed to get. Yep. She counts on that money.
She didn't even know it.
Now look, I'm a minimum age.
Bullshit, man. You're gonna hit somebody for a dead man's bill? Come on, now.
Yeah.
I hope that shit don't happen.
I make minimum wage. I make minimum wage.
And if people didn't know, in 2012, that in one of their laws or bills, they had they passed something so they could do that.
Yep.
They can go back 10 years or more. If there's debt, they can just take it.
So the odds of me ever getting the money that I was counting on, I'll never see it. They'll find
you might. They're just going to yank your dick till August about it, and then they might say.
You think they would send me a letter? Why? Saying this is why, because so and so else claimed her, or we're investigating identity theft.
It's because you spoke your mind on YouTube, probably. By the way, guys, support YouTube. Love YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.
Thank you, YouTube.
Thank you for the freedom of speech. We appreciate it.
That the year we start the show, I get labeled as a terrorist, and
hey, NSA
audited.
Fuck you.
Double time.
The what?
NSA.
NSA. Yeah.
Now, hopefully, he makes it home tonight and the brakes on the truck.
Fucking catastrophic failure in the brake system there. What the hell? What's going on? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But
the IRS, they are being a bunch of bullies and shit. It's ridiculous.
And they can be, because we don't. There isn't checks and balances. There isn't you don't have a system of recourse that you either like it or you don't. It don't matter. It's the way it is.
They can be wrong all they want. There's no punishment. If you're wrong, the punishment is severe.
Not quite as bad, but I can tell you in years past when I had to deal with a state of Michigan unemployment agency, it could be the same way. That's all bureaucracy. If they can yank you all around all they want. Who are you going to fight? You can't fight City Hall.
Right.
So, yeah, good luck with that, man. I think, in my opinion, what I think is probably going to happen, if I had to guess from now on, I think they're probably just going to yank you around for a while. I don't know if they'll necessarily give you any money, but I think they'll probably drop the thing where you owe us money shit. Hopefully.
Yeah, the money I was supposed to get this year, I'll just...
That's why I pay to get my taxes done. I know it's stupid to pay $100 to have somebody do a 1040 easy form, but that way somebody else's name is on that bitch, and they can go after him if it's not right. So, that's the way I see it.
Well, America shouldn't be that way.
No, it should not. Why the fuck do we gotta be our own account every year anyway? Why?
I don't manipulate the system to say I'm cheating. I answer the questions that are on there.
Yeah.
Line by line by line by line. It determines what I'm supposed to get. I'm not manipulating it, changing and lying.
Instead of taking too much money from me and giving me some back, just don't take too.
Wouldn't you think that the IRS could simply look at the last 17 years of my tax returns and see that there's one thing that's been the same? That he has claimed head of household, and every other year claimed head of household and Ivory Leland as a tax credit.
They're hitting that crack pipe so hard, dude. They sucked the Charboy in their throat, and now they're choking and they're pissed. So they're like, I'll just fuck with Richard Leland. Now, probably me too. I just probably spoke the future.
Now we're all going to be
can't get blood from a stone. I ain't got shit but death.
Now we're all going to be audited. Even you that's watching this. Sorry.
Oh, you shouldn't have clicked on the video, man.
Well, I know a lot of you are going through the same thing. Just keep your head up. All I'm doing is struggling and trying to keep on going. But I definitely ain't going to give them assholes my money no more.
We'll be strong.
Together.
I think we need to start a new party, a no-tax party.
Yeah.
And the taxes. Taxes are supposed to be voluntary, and they are technically illegal in the United States. But
laws were passed, and
people that stand in the
repeals and bullshit.
But that's about it for this topic, folks. Peace.
Peace.